Welcome fellow learners. In this video, we will be building a custom agent with memory using Langchain. In this video, we will be harnessing the power of large language model to create an intelligent agent capable of remembering past interactions. By the end of this video, you will be having a comprehensive understanding of how to implement memory functionality in your agent. We will make this custom agent to provide more contextually relevant responses over time. So, to make this tutorial even more interactive and user friendly, we will be using Gradio to showcase our final output. Gradio is basically an amazing tool that allows you to create intuitive web interfaces for your machine learning models with just a few lines of the code. So this will not only help you visualize how the agent works, but also let you interact with it in real time. So let's first see what we are going to achieve in this video. We are going to create an application where we can Q&A with Wikipedia. So we will be asking question and our agent will search it through the Wikipedia and provide us the final answer. So as you can see, I have asked few questions related to football, and the first question which I asked is the most goals scored in a single season of La Liga. Our agent searched it through Wikipedia and provided us the final answer as like most goals scored were 50 goals, and it was basically scored by Lionel Messi in the season 2011 and 2012. So then I asked a follow-up question to see does it maintain or remember the contextual information from the previous conversation. So like I asked how many total goals he scored in La Liga. So here I referenced he as Lionel Messi. So this agent should remember like what he is referencing to. So basically it will also store the previous conversation as its memory and then search it through the Wikipedia and provide us the final answer. So if you can see, it has answered it like Lionel Messi has scored a total of 474 goals in La Liga. So it was able to remember the contextual information provided in the previous conversation also. So let's jump into the implementation of this application. So at first, let's write down what are the different steps that we are going to follow to implement this custom agent. In the first step, we are going to import a large language model. We will be using a GPT 3.5 turbo model for as a part of large language model. In the second step, we will be importing a tool. This tool will be utilized by this custom agent that we are going to create to basically search through Wikipedia. In the third step, we will bind this tool to basically our large language model such that this tool can be passed to this language model at every step whenever we are asking a query to it. In the fourth step, we will be creating a prompt template. This prompt template will be utilized by our custom agent. In the fifth step, we will be creating this custom agent and we will be adding memory to it. So this memory will be basically make it to remember the previous steps in the conversation, previous question and answer from the conversation. And finally, we will be showcasing this output in Gradio. So we will be using Gradio to showcase a UI user interface where you can ask question and it will provide us the answer. So let's first import our language model. We will be using chat OpenAI from Langchain to import our language model. We will be utilizing GPT 3.5 turbo model over here. So once we are having our language model, we are going to import our tool. So we are using Wikipedia as our tool to basically fetch the data or fetch the summarized result from the Wikipedia. So to import our tool, we are going to use Wikipedia query run and Wikipedia API wrapper, two modules from Langchain to basically do this. Wikipedia query run is the tool to basically search through the Wikipedia, and it uses Wikipedia API wrapper to create a wrapper over Wikipedia API. To work this, you need to install Wikipedia Python package. Basically, you can use pip install Wikipedia and it will basically install the Wikipedia package. And then this wrapper will create a wrapper over this API, which will basically search through the Wikipedia and give the summarized result to us. So let's run this cell and then create our tool. So this will create our Wikipedia tool. and let's see how does this give us answer when we are asking a question to it. So I'm asking this question like highest goals in a single season of La Liga. So this tool will basically use the Wikipedia API and fetch the result from the Wikipedia and then provide us the summarized result to us. So let's see how it is giving result to us. So you can see this has provided this summarized result, and you can see it has given a lot of other information to us also. So it will be difficult to find out the exact answer for the question that we have asked to this summarized result. So that's why we are going to use this Wikipedia tool in our custom agent to provide us a final good way of final answer, such that we can read it in a single line. We do not need to read this whole summary of the Wikipedia result. So next, bind this tool to our language model. So what's the benefit of binding this tool to our language model? So as I have told you, we are going to create our own custom agent. So we will be relying on OpenAI tool calling LLMs, which take tools as a separate argument and have been specifically trained to know when to invoke these tools. So to pass in our tools to the agent, basically, we just need to format them to OpenAI tool format and then pass to our model. So by binding these tools to basically our LLM, we are making sure that they have passed in each time the model is invoked. So let's run these cells, and we will be already done with binding our tool to the language model. So now we have basically done that. So next we will be basically creating our prompt template. So this prompt will be used with our custom agent. So as we are using OpenAI tool functions, so there is not much to provide information or basically instruction to these agents. So we need not to provide much instruction to these agents. So we will be only using three input to it. The first one is user input, that will be the user's query. Second one is agent scratchpad. This agent scratchpad is basically a kind of agent notepad, which will take notes of what are the different tools it has called in the previous steps and what are the different function it has invoked in those previous steps. And the third and final basically input would be the chat history. So this chat history will make sure this agent remembers the previous steps or previous basically question and answer in the conversation. So we will be using this chat prompt template from the Langchain. And another one is we will be using this message placeholder. This placeholder will basically will be used to pass the list of messages to this prompt template. So like these list of messages will be like input, chat history, and agent scratchpad. So agent scratchpad is already built in this chat prompt template. We need not to pass it separately. It will be taken care by Langchain. So we need to only pass two things. One will be the user's input and second will be the chat history. So if you see its doc string, we can find out how these basically input are being given to the this prompt template. So if you see, this history is basically a list of tuples, and the first element in the tuple would be specifically defined as which kind of input it is. So if you can see, the first tuple is saying that the human has asked like what's 5 plus 2, and second tuple is being given that AI has answered like 5 plus 2 is 7. And then the next question that is asked by the user is now multiply that by 4. So in this way, we can basically pass our input to this basically chat prompt template through this message placeholder. So let's run this cell and we will be done with creating our prompt. So next we are going to create our empty chat history. As you know, at first chat history will be empty because in the first step there will be no previous information to the agent, and we can use this AI message and human message provided by Langchain. These two modules can be used to basically save the previous history to this chat history list. So we will be seeing in the next step, in the further step, how we can use this AI message and human message as to basically store our history in this chat history list. So let's run this cell. Now we are done with creating our prompt. So next we are going to implement our custom agent, and we will be using chat history as memory to it. So to implement this custom agent, let's first import two modules. The first module is format to OpenAI tool message. So this module will be used to format the intermediate steps into a suitable format for the language model. So when I talk about intermediate steps, these steps are like what are the different agent action has been taken, what are the output from those tools are being given that can be used in the next step whenever we are calling the language model. And the second module that we are going to import is OpenAI tool agent output parser. This tool is being going to used when we are formatting the output from the language model, which can be used as a part of the further step or the part of the agent finish when we are going to provide the final summarized answer. When I talk about the further step in the agent, so it can be like, let's say we are creating a chat with database kind of model where our language model has generated a SQL query. We need to format that SQL query in a way such that it can be used, and that SQL query can be used to fetch the data from the database. And when we are talking about agent finish, it could be like we got the data, we got the output or summarized output from the language model, then that output will be formatted in a way that can be presented to the user as in final output. So these two modules we will be using. Then we will be using runnable sequence to implement this agent. So the first step would be like we will get the input from the user. So like input would be basically a group of variables. Those variables will be like input user's question, then agent's scratchpad, which will be already taken care by basically this agent. And the second would be like chat's history. So it will be passed at each step when we are asking language model to get our answer. So these will be the input. So if you see here, I have applied this format to OpenAI tool message. This will basically format all those intermediate steps in a way such that it can be given input to the language model. And then we will take this chat history as an input in the first step. So these three will be the input, and these three will be passed to the prompt. As we have seen, we have already created these three variables, chat history, agent scratchpad, and input in our prompt. So this will be directly given as a variable input to our prompt. And then next, this prompt will be passed to our language model, which is already binded with our Wikipedia tool. So that Wikipedia tool will also be passed at each basically call to the language model. And then finally, when we got output from this language model, that output will be again passed to this OpenAI tools agent output parser. So this will format for the next step in the agent. And this basically these steps, these you can say runnable sequence, will run again and again when until agent got its final answer or agent got its like agent finish you can say token. So this way we can create this agent, and then let's run this cell. Then we will be using this agent executor. This is basically agent that is using our tool. And in this agent, if you see, I have passed few parameters, like agent would be this runnable sequence, tools would be same, that single Wikipedia tool. I have kept verbose equals to true to see what are the intermediate steps that we are going to see. And then we are using stream runnable equals to false to basically make the language model to also provide us information about the number of prompt tokens it has used. So let's run this cell also. Now we are having our agent executor. Then I have basically used this get OpenAI callback. This will provide us the information about the cost that was associated with one particular call to the language model, and also the number of prompt tokens and the number of generated tokens that has been provided by the language model. So here it will be provided by the OpenAI. So let's run this cell. Now take an example and execute our this agent executor. We can use invoke function from the agent executor. You can see I have used this input like highest goals in a single season of La Liga, and I have passed this chat history. As you remember, this chat history at the start would be empty. So there will be no chat history at the start. So let's run this cell and see how does this work. So first you can see it has entered into agent executor chain, and it found out like we are having Wikipedia tool. So it has invoked this Wikipedia tool with the query like La Liga highest goals in a single season. Now you can see this has fetched this summarized data from the Wikipedia search. It has utilized Wikipedia API to fetch this result and then use this summarized output from the Wikipedia search and pass this to the language model in the next step. And the final answer you can see over here. It has found out and it has provided us from this agent the record for the most goals scored in a single season in the La Liga is held by Lionel Messi with 50 goals in 2011 and 12 campaign. So you can say this way we can implement our custom agent and get the answer from it. Now you can see the number of tokens used by it, the number of completion tokens used by it, the number of times basically this agent called the language model and the total cost associated with it. So we have seen this. Now for the part of memory, the chat history that we have provided to it, how we can implement that. As we have seen that chat history is empty at the first step. Now when we are talking about the second step, we need to basically append the answer from the previous step and the query that we have asked to the language model. So as we have seen, the human message class and AI message class can be used to store these basically chat history in the chat history this list. So you can see that I have directly used this human message as our question query and AI message as the output from the language model. So here this will be the output like this, the record for the most goals. So this way it will basically add this history to the language model, and then when in the next time when we are running this agent executor, so let's run this cell, it will basically take into account along with the query that we have asked second time like this, how many goals he has scored overall in La Liga, and the chat history that we have provided, this one will also be taken into account. So this chat history will be appended to the prompt along with the user's input question. So if you see in this step also it has searched to the Wikipedia and it has asked it for the Lionel Messi as it has taken into account from the previous history also, chat history also, and it has given us the final answer to us. So if you can see as the output, it has given us like Lionel Messi has scored around 474 goals in the La Liga. So now we know how to implement memory in our custom agent. So next, let's make it more interactive by implementing it in Gradio. So let's first import Gradio, and implementation of Gradio is pretty simple. The only other thing that we need to do is we need to create a function where we are going to pass the user's query, and it will basically ask the agent executor to invoke the user's query and get the result for us. So one major thing that I would like to tell you over here is like I will be creating a agent history, and that will be treated as a history that will be passed to the language model at every step. So we will be appending output from the language model at each step to this history along with the user's query that has been asked to the language model. So if you see, I have provided this agent executor this input query and this agent history that I have created over here. So at the start it will be empty, and as again and again we are asking question, it will be appended to this agent's history. So at this step we have already seen this agent history has been extended using this two human message and AI message classes. So these are basically classes that will be used in our you can say a placeholder that we have seen in when we were creating this prompt template for this agent. That placeholder will basically convert this into list of or you can say a tuple of list. So in each tuple it will be provided as like which particular message, like this message will be first element in the tuple would be like human and second element would be this content, and for this AI message the first element in the tuple will be like AI and the second element would be this output from the language model. This way this agent history will add this as a placeholder in our prompt, and then that prompt will be passed to the language model. The second chat history list that you are seeing over here, this is for the output that we are going to see in the chatbot. So this way we can showcase our output in the chatbot using Gradio. We will be adding this query as a user's query and the output from the language model as answer to the query. So I'm just making it bold so that we can see like which one is query and answer in a better way. So this function we will create and we will just return the output from the language model and basically the chat history from the this chat history basically list. We do not need this output as we are already basically appended this to chat history, but just for the sake of simplicity I have made it as a return statement over here. So let's run this cell, and in the next block I have basically implemented this Gradio. So Gradio implementation is pretty simple. I have used two things, chatbot and question. Chatbot would be a big square box where you can see the user's question and the corresponding language model's answer and or the agent's answer. And the question will be a place where you can basically enter your question that will be passed to the agent. So there will be two buttons also. One is submit and another one is clear. Submit button is basically, as you can see, it is simply auto explainable by its name. You can press it, it will submit to the agent, pass the question of the user to the agent. Clear button is also self explainable, like you can clear the output in the chatbot and the question, the query of the user. So this user function, this is the basically main function that will call the agent, that function that we have created in the previous step, and this will call the agent and it will get us this history. As I told you, like this output is not required in the next step, only the history, which will be basically the chat history. This chat history will be directly provided in the chatbot square box that we are going to see in this Gradio UI. So let's run this cell, and we will be provided with you can say a local API, which will be localhost API. This is the local API. So let's click on it, and we will be seeing our Gradio UI. So this big square box is basically our chatbot, and this basically text box is where we can ask our question. So let's ask the same question that we were seeing earlier. So like most number of goals scored in a single season of La Liga. So now when I press enter, it will basically call our same user function in the Gradio UI, basically that block, and then it will again ask it to our agent, custom agent that we have created, and the same function that we have seen earlier, this one, our this call agent function. It will do all the backend code, and then we can see our output over here also. We can see it in basically this output in this notebook. Like we can see it asked agent, and it then searched like it should call the Wikipedia, and then it searched in the Wikipedia and fetched the result from the Wikipedia, and then it finally got us the output for us. So we can see the output in this basically chatbot also. So like you can see the answer would be like the most number of goals scored in a single season is this 50, and we can see it has been scored by Lionel Messi. So let's ask a follow-up question. So like that we have seen already, like and so I will be asking like how many goals in total Messi has basically scored in La Liga. So instead of asking directly by Messi, I will be asking like how many goals in total he has scored in La Liga. So my follow-up question is in a way that if it doesn't remember about the previous context from the previous questions, it would not be able to answer it. So like if it doesn't have the chat history, like it has given answer as Lionel Messi, it would not be able to provide us the answer. But as you can see, it has given us like Lionel Messi has scored a total of 474 goals in La Liga. So it is clearly able to basically keep the context from the previous question and answer in the chatbot, as we have provided chat history to it. So this way we can see we have implemented our custom agent along with the memory to it. So we have come up a long way in this tutorial. So like we first imported our language model, then we have created a tool which is Wikipedia tool, then binded that tool with our language model. Then we have created the prompt template that will be used in the basically that our custom agent. We have created and added different input to it like user input, agent scratchpad, and then chat history to it. And then finally we created our custom agent using Langchain, and we have added memory to it. And then we also used Gradio as UI to make it more interactive and look like we can basically interact it, like asking the question and it is providing answer to us. So great. Uh, it's great. We have completed this tutorial on creating a custom agent and adding memory to it. So yeah, thanks for making till the end of this video. Goodbye until the next time.